What is up, everybody? It's your boy Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and we are here today with another video, a first of this kind. I am going to be ranking the Halloween franchise in its entirety from 1978 all the way to Halloween Ends. It just came out about 2 weeks ago. So this will be a first, and if you want more of these, let me know in the comments. Sound off. And let's get started. Coming in at dead last, Halloween Resurrection. There is not much to this film. This film should have never been made. It was awful. Busta Rhymes killing Michael with a karate kick. What?
Trick or treat, mother.
Laurie Strode got killed off in like the first 10 minutes, and I might be being generous with that time. Should never been made after the events of H2O. We'll get into that. But Halloween Resurrection, just big old thumbs down on that one. Coming in 12th place is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. And boy, is that title ever so fitting for a movie. The only thing that puts it ahead of Resurrection is it had Paul Rudd in it. Otherwise, this movie was bad. And it's a shame because it was Donald Pleasance's last Halloween movie. The plot just didn't make sense. There were plot holes all over the place, and it just wasn't a good movie. I wish it could have been better, but for Paul Rudd's big debut, but it was not that good. So that's why it gets the number 12 spot on my ranking. Coming in at number 11 is Rob Zombie Halloween 2. Now, I just saw this for the first time the other night, and it was weird. Like, the whole him seeing his dead mother, and then the baby, and then Michael, it was just so weird. I felt like I was having a fever dream while I was watching it. I couldn't believe what I was watching, quite frankly, but that's why it gets the number 11 ranking on my tier list. It had its moments, like Laurie going insane, and of course it had Danielle Harris. That's probably why it gets this high, but otherwise, no, we now know why there wasn't a Rob Zombie Halloween 3. And that's why it's number 11 on my list. Coming in at number 10 is Halloween Ends. Now, I recently just reviewed Halloween Ends on my channel. It was my first video, so go check that video out too. But it was just, I was so let down by that movie. It was the end to a franchise, and unfortunately it just was a big letdown. Jamie Lee and Michael had a 5-minute fight scene. We got introduced to this Corey kid out of nowhere. At least for me, it was out of nowhere. And it was like a love story. It's like, I didn't want that. The first hour was slow. The second hour picked up a little, but still, it was not that good. And that's why it gets number 10 on my rankings. Coming in at number 9 is Rob Zombie Halloween 1. Now, I recently saw this completely this year. And I saw it a few years ago, and I wasn't a fan of it. But I came around to it. Still isn't that good. I didn't need the whole build-up to Michael as a 6-year-old, him being nuts. You could have just had him do what Michael Myers does, and it would have been okay. It was a different approach, sure, but wasn't that good. Of course, Danielle Harris and Scott Compton are in it, so thumbs up there. But otherwise, it was not that good. Again, no wonder why the franchise only had 2 movies, and that is number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Now, I just saw this for the first time this year. Do not rip me apart in the comments for that. I'm sorry. It didn't have Michael Myers, and I wasn't interested until this year. But for a standalone movie, it was pretty good. The story was interesting. They took a different approach to it, and I actually liked it for what it was. Again, no Michael Myers, so that's a thumbs down. But the Silver Shamrock, them trying to brainwash people, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and I'll be watching it for years to come near Halloween. And yeah, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch gets the number 8 spot. Coming in at number 7, we're almost dead in the middle, is Halloween Kills, which just came out last year. Halloween Kills was an interesting movie. I enjoyed it. The kills were brutal. The whole Evil Dies Tonight, I didn't like. I also didn't like how they were beating him up and they just stopped and Michael got him. But overall, pretty good movie. I think It's better than Ends, for sure. I don't think it's better than the other movies, as you can see, because it's number 7. And Halloween Kills, pretty solid movie, but not solid enough to get in the top 6. Coming in at number 6 is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Now, this is another Danielle Harris one. This is the second movie in the Cult of Thorn. We won't get into that, because that's a downfall in itself. Halloween 5 was solid. They were chasing Michael. It was 1 year after he returned, and it was good. It could have been better. I didn't like how they killed off Rachel. Spoiler. And then the Tina character took over, and Jamie couldn't talk for the first half of the movie. It was just strange to me at some points, but a solid movie. I'm not going to bash it, but that's why it's only number 6 on my list. Coming in at number 5, top 5, is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Now, it's another one with Danielle Harris. This was the start of it. They pretty much brought him back from the dead, brought Loomis back from the dead. Solid movie. I enjoyed the town hunting him because of what he did 10 years earlier. Spoiler, it didn't work. But it was a solid movie, solid idea, and they killed Jamie Lee Curtis off, for now, in that movie. And I enjoyed that movie. I watch it every year, and it was the start to a really bad storyline, but this movie was good. So that's why it gets number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Halloween 2, the 1981 version. Halloween 2 was interesting. It had some slow parts, for sure, because it was mainly Laurie Strode in the hospital, Michael trying to find her, but I enjoyed it. I understand why people don't like it, because it was slow moving and it was mainly Michael trying to find her, but that explosion at the end, and I don't know, it took place on the same night as 78. So I enjoyed that part. It was just a continuation, and solid all-around movie. I liked it. I watch it every year. That's why it's number 4, but it's just outside the top 3. Coming in at number 3, we are at the top 3, folks. Halloween 2018. Now, this is 40 years after 78, if you do the math. Jamie Lee returns. It was awesome. I enjoyed it so much. Them baiting Michael having the new doctor. The dance scene was pretty funny with Cameron, and I just enjoyed it. I didn't have much faith when they announced that it was back, and Jamie Lee was back again, and it was like, but they did really well with it, I gotta say, and I enjoyed it for what it was. The ending was awesome, and that's how it was done right. So that's why it's number 3 on my list, and very good movie. No bashing from me on this one. Now we come in at number 2. Halloween H2O 20 years later. I absolutely loved this movie. I watch it every year. From the beginning, when Joseph Gordon-Levitt, a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt, gets stabbed with the ice skate, to that iconic scene where Jamie Lee and Michael come face to face for the first time in 20 years. Ooh, that was awesome. Brilliant acting by Josh Hartnett. Jamie Lee was great in it. They had so many cameos from Jamie Lee's mom. I thought it was so well done, and how he tracked her down in California. She changed her name and everything, and he still tracked her down 20 years later. And that ending where she chops his head off, that's the best ending to any Halloween movie. Unfortunately, it didn't count because Resurrection happened and it wasn't Michael Myers under the mask. But for what the ending was, it was incredible. And coming in at number 1, the giant itself, Halloween 78. It's a classic. There's nothing more I can say. It started it all. The crazy brother chasing the sister, even though that got retconned. The iconic chase scenes, Michael getting shot by Loomis 6 times, and he just disappears into the night. Iconic movie. I watch it every year, like most of them. The kills were brutal. For 78, it was a really good, well-shot movie. And I was thoroughly impressed. And it started it all. Like I said before, what else can I say? Halloween 78, it's classic. It did wonders for horror movies back then. And just all-around number 1 on my list. And I just wanted to say a very special shout-out to my friend and my editor, Ryan Keyes, who, with all that he does, makes me look like a perfect public speaker. And honestly, this wouldn't be anything without him. So I appreciate him so much in this. So I just wanted to give him a special shout out. Thank you for joining me on this rankings list. I had so much fun doing this. Leave your rankings in the comment section below. I'm curious to see if you disagree with me, great. If you agree with me, great. I want to see what you guys have to say about it. Otherwise, give me a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. That lets you know when I'm going live with a stream or when I post a video. Otherwise, I'm Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.